What it do, folks? What it do? 2023, Team No Sleep, James Hickson, ladies and gentlemen, that guy right there, Montel Allen. How you doing, brother?
Good, man. Blessed as usual, fam. How you doing?
Went out of town for a week and not feeling 100% right now, but I'm gonna do all right. I'm gonna do all right.
Yeah,
Uh,
we fight through it. We'll
we'll
fight through
fight.
this one.
Try to make it through weather-wise as well. Listen, I'm up here in California. I know you down in Southern California. We got this bomb cyclone happening.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Y'all got some serious weather going on up there.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it's no
um,
joke what's going on, man. It's crazy talk that's happening. So I see folks coming in the comments. Good to see everyone. We're gonna jump on into it. We got a couple of stories, and I'm actually glad we waited a couple of days for this
uh-huh.
particular story. Because I don't know, I was somewhere and then I sent you the message. I was watching the game Monday. So talking about the Damar Hamlin
Yeah,
situation. I was
yeah.
watching the game. And I texted you and I said, "Man, did you see the hit?" Because when I saw the hit, so have you seen it now? Have you seen the video of the hit?
Yeah, I seen it. Yeah.
Okay, because when I saw it, I said, "Oh man, that don't look right." That I could just tell by the way Damar fell after he got hit. I said, "That's not right." And you weren't watching it. We thought it was going to, a regular football play and things like that. And it really was. It was a regular football play. It was just an unfortunate reaction thing that happened. But everything that's happened with Damar Hamlin going through cardiac arrest last Monday night on the field during the game between the Bills and the Bengals, the man, let's go ahead and the man died on the
Yes.
field. The man died on the field, and we saw it live. But let's talk about those medical staff. Let's talk about the folks who knew immediately that, again, when he got hit, when he got up, and then when he fell back down, that this wasn't right. We got to swing into action, and just the
Mhm.
protocols and the fact that I've heard so many stories, and I know you have as well over the past week, that one of the safest places you can be if you're having a medical emergency is probably right there on an NFL field, because there are so many coordinated medical staff out there to take care of these folks. Man, talk to us a little bit about your thoughts. Get the emotions of the week, right? Because again, from seeing
Yeah.
the play happen to everything that's transpired thus far, man.
Yeah, I think for one, shout out to the medical staff of Cincinnati. Excellent job, to be able to save that man while he was on the field.
Yeah.
Number two, I think you got to shout out to the players for all the support they've been giving, Hamlin and all the donations to his charitable thing. I think it's up to $8 million now
Yeah.
for a
So we'll talk
situation.
about that, right? Because he started out, tomorrow I want $2,500.
Yeah, he only won $25. You got $8 million now.
You got $8
So
million now. Yeah.
so that goes to strength of fans, right? Fans of football. I think that's a great gesture. But the fact that he, like you said, he died. He literally died there on the field, and they were able to resuscitate him and get him to the hospital and do all the things they needed to do. Kudos to the NFL. I know they eventually stopped the game. It was the right thing to do, obviously, to stop the game. It's the right thing to do to not reschedule the game. They're not rescheduled. They didn't reschedule the game at all.
Yeah.
It was something that everybody had to digest to kind of move on and kind of figure it out. And the funny part, man, I mean, this ain't funny, but it's the funny part is I was reading an article about when he woke up, right? When he woke up out of his coma.
Yeah.
The first thing he asked is, "What did we win the game?"
Did we win the game? Come on.
That's
a
that is
competitor at
crazy.
heart right there, right?
Yeah. That part right there was like, all right, that's a warrior. That's a football warrior. So, I mean, obviously the situation is very scary. The whole process of that, from us watching it on watching it on live TV, for him going through, these peaks and valleys with his health. Because remember, when he was in the hospital, they didn't even know. It was kind of touchy-feely. At least we didn't know what was going on. And then he finally, they said he's breathing on, a couple of days later, he's fine. He's kind of breathing on his own. And then like I said, the article, his mother confirmed it. The first thing he said when he woke up was like, "Did we win the game?" And then he said, "What was the score?" Which is crazy. That's what he was thinking about.
But that just goes to show that his neurological function, as everyone has started talking about, was intact. Because that's what he remembered that, and just being able to come again, folks. Just think about that, because his mom was up there in the stands.
Yes.
I've seen my kids get hit in like a soccer game or a baseball game, and they get knocked down or whatever the case may be. Imagine the mom seeing Of course, that's where I go a lot of times,
Yeah,
right? We talk social impact, we talk about mental awareness, things of that nature. That's where my mind went. Mom seeing her son get that hit and then having to make that trek down to the field,
yeah,
and just all of the emotions that are going on to that. But just fortunate and blessed and happy that it's turning into a more positive situation. He
yeah.
was discharged
I,
from the Buffalo hospital
hmm
today. Yeah, so
yeah. He's back at. I think that the big social impact from this thing is just like there is some love out there,
yeah,
right? There is some, like, we go through so many bad stories and so many bad things, and we always tend to focus on the negative.
yeah,
This is like, one of the most positive stories I think of the year, and it's the beginning of the year that this man, actually had that ailment happen on the field, and so many people rallied behind him and rallied behind, him getting healthy, his foundation.
yeah.
Just wanted him to be, his well being. We got to remember, I think he's only 25 years old.
Yes,
It's a young cat. He really young. So I think now they're trying to figure out what happened. Like, why did he go into cardiac arrest? People ask me all the time, do you think what happened? I'm like, it could be a number of things, man. He could have had a heart murmur that they couldn't detect. He could have had an irregular heartbeat that they didn't detect because the hit wasn't very hard at all. The hit was not an uncommon hit that you see in the NFL at all. It actually wasn't even that crazy of the hit. But when he passed out, that was unusual because your body normally doesn't fall from that. Like, when you get an injury, you don't fall like that. You just don't. He fell like he was unconscious. Like, you knew right when he fell something was wrong. So, and it was, and I think that's why you saw those players crying.
yeah,
You saw those players praying because I think when you play a sport, this is like basketball. You know when someone twists their ankle, right? You know when someone twists their ankle, and you can tell when somebody blows their knee.
yeah.
It's
That's true.
it's different. There's a different kind of situation. So, man, my prayers just go out to his family. I hope he fully recovers. I hope he gets a chance to play football again. But if he doesn't, I'm just glad the brother's alive, man. And
That's
the
true.
young man's alive. He gets to fulfill whatever other dreams he had in his lifetime to be able to do. And I hope the Bills organization stands behind him. I hope they if he's not able to play football, get him into mentoring, coaching, or get him into somewhere where he can be around the game. Because I can tell you right now, when the game was taken away from me, when I figured out I wasn't good enough to play at that next level or at the professional level like that, it's we talk about the depression and the mental health you go through at that point.
Yeah.
He was at the pinnacle of his career doing very, very well, and it was taken away from him due to a health issue. There'll be a lot of that, but I think they can kind of curb that if they intervene ASAP.
Love it. Yeah. I mean, I just love the fact of how it turned into more than just a football story, right? It turned into more of a global issue. It really, at least a national issue, right? It turned into folks who are true fans of sport and actually true fans of the individuals. I must say there was probably more Cincinnati Bengals fans at the hospital in Cincinnati than there were Bills fans, just because, again, they rallied around and they saw the serious nature of what had happened. And just, talking about how serious it is, Cheryl was talking about, she says, I'm a CPR instructor. And if you're not getting H2O to the brain within 7 minutes, you have irreversible brain damage. Good Lord. So 7 minutes. Again, talking to the awareness of the folks that were on the field. And, so when you see the stretcher come on, you're like, man, okay, this might be bad. But when they back that ambulance up,
hey man, I'm just telling you, just talk about his body wasn't a fall, his body was a limp. It went limp all the way, which was crazy. I was like, whoa, that was even when you called me, you told me, I was like, man, what you talking about, man? I ain't watching the game. You like, you got to see what happened. And I watched it, I was like, oh, you could tell right when he stood up, it was like his body just went completely limp. So at that point, he went to cardiac arrest. That means his heart stopped at that point. He fell. And luckily they reacted the way they did. Glad they reacted the way they did. But you could just tell that was just something really different about that situation. But this is like I said, this is that one feel good story. This is that one story of the year where we're like, man, it has everything. It has sports. It has a situation. It has sports. It has health. He's surviving it now. He's from what I've seen, he's looked like he's in good spirits and good condition. He understands what's going on. Now it's time to just kind of hopefully we can figure out the problem. So hopefully they can detect it that doesn't happen to nobody else, no other player on any level, not just the pros. This shouldn't happen to no player from Pop Warner all the way on up. Let's hope that they can kind of figure out what's going on so this doesn't happen again. But I'm very, very happy. I'm glad all football fans are happy too because they rallied behind the young man.
Listen, and next thing you know, when DeMar was feeling better and he was FaceTiming with his team, them Bills went out there and showed out, didn't they? Listen, they out there trying to win. So
Hey,
that
nah,
would be
but
again the
see,
story. That
you
would
know the
be, so
scary
you
part
know
about
me.
that?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a purpose now, right?
yeah.
And we playing for our man. It's a purpose now to kind of, I think when you play sports, especially when you get to professional level, you got to have something to motivate you, right? That kicks in, And sometimes being in the playoffs isn't enough. Being there isn't enough to kind of get you that one extra. I'm gonna give it everything. I'm gonna just study a little bit harder, And sometimes it's just predestined, right? There's destiny where you're gonna land. They have now something to fuel that fire, and they don't need it going against Cincinnati and getting over Cincinnati and Kansas City. But that might be the fire they need, man. I mean, I'm sure he would inspire me if I was there. So I'm sure it's inspiring a lot of those guys to get ready to rock and roll with it.
I'm gonna put my $2 on the Bills Mafia. Since my Steelers are gone, I'm gonna put my $2 on the
Your
Bills.
Steelers is in it. What you talking about? Y'all in the playoffs.
They not going. I've already come to the realization mentally, so don't reel me back. I've already come to the mental realization that there's some teams right now that are a little bit stronger, and like you say, the Bills are playing for a higher cause, higher purpose. There's a couple of squads out there that's really doing some damage.
Oh man,
I'm surprised Jacksonville is this far. So I don't know if my boy Andrew Nixon is watching
Jackson,
right now.
Hey, who Jacksonville got first? Jacksonville got Chargers, right? Yeah. Don't be surprised if Jacksonville wins that game.
Yeah, that don't even sound right coming out of your mouth. But okay, we gonna see. We gonna see.
Hey, who was right about the national championship in the playoffs?
See, okay. We gonna get nasty like that, right? Because I was rooting for TCU.
I told you TCU was gonna beat Michigan. I told you Georgia was gonna beat
Ohio State,
which they shouldn't have won. And then I told you Georgia was gonna beat TCU in the championship. I called all three of them.
I couldn't root for Georgia because of Herschel Walker. That was my reason. There was no rational reason. Kirby Smart, bad man. I could. So I was rooting. I had my little $3 on TCU. And
you lost that big time.
I lost that. Listen, what was it? It was 93? Something ridiculous like that. It was
65-7 or something like that. Yeah.
Man, okay. So football is back. We can talk happy about these things now because DeMar is on the road to recovery. That the national championship game was horrible. There's conversations that Kirby Smart is now the king on the throne of college football. It's no longer Nick Saban. That's an interesting conversation to have right there as well. Right?
Why is it? Why is back-to-back championships? How are you not the king of the throne?
That is dope. But Nick's done it, and Nick's got 3. Kirby's got 2.
Nick ain't did it. Hey, Nick ain't did it as recent as Kirby. Kirby's done it the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So you're the king of the throne. If me and you playing basketball one-on-one in a tournament and I win the tournament, I'm the king of the throne as of right now. Kirby's winning. Right. Yeah, as of right now. I ain't saying Nick ain't got a hand in the tournament in the conversation, but as of right now, definitively, we're going by wins and losses. Who's winning it all? Kirby done got it back to back, and it looks like he's gonna be another one next year because he's got the number 1 team coming in the next year. So, no disrespect to Nick Saban. He's done a great job at Alabama. He's done a great job curbing Heisman Trophy winners. But right now, the torch is passed. It's passed to Kirby Smart.
The torch has passed.
And before that, in Nick's little reign, the torch was passed over to Clemson. When they won it. So it's got a lot. Everybody's chasing Kirby Smart. Ain't nobody chasing Nick Saban no more. They're chasing Kirby Smart. That's why Kirby Smart is number 1 dude right now.
Kirby Smart. All right, we'll see. No, I'm not doubting. I was a Dabo Swinney guy for a minute. You talk Clemson. I was obviously a Saban dude. Roll Tide all day, but we'll see. That was too lopsided of a game though for me to really. I don't know. I couldn't get down with it. That was just too lopsided of a championship game. It didn't seem like TCU was ready
what's funny?
for that.
I was telling everybody even when the game, even when they were when we was discussing it, when I told you my predictions, TCU was the worst nightmare matchup for Michigan because of the way they play. Michigan is more of a balanced offense. They don't do very well against I mean, they do well, but if somebody can get ahead of them, it's harder for them to come back and match teams point for point. That's why TCU won. Ohio State was obviously a great matchup for Georgia, and Michigan would have even been a better matchup against Georgia because Michigan's style of play is conducive to stopping what Georgia does. The reason why TCU doesn't stop what Georgia does because TCU runs an odd front, a three-man front. Georgia's strength is an offensive line and their power running game. How are you going to stop 8 guys with 3?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work that way.
That's true. Yeah.
And we saw it. We saw how it doesn't work that way. So, I mean, TCU, kudos to them, man. They made everybody believe what no one believed, that they can make it, and they made it all the way to the championship. I just think they weren't prepared to deal with what comes when it comes to that kind of game. They weren't ready to make the adjustments they needed to make right away in order to be successful against with Georgia. And all honesty, Georgia was the better team. So
that's true. That's true. We'll see what happens next year, next season. I keep looking at emails to see if when the NFL responds to our inquiry, our request. We are on the list. It still shows pending. So
I'm telling you, they ain't ready for us, man.
I haven't made any other plans for that particular weekend. So, and I'm not going to say anything right now. I'm not going. We're just going to wait and see if you and I are going to a particular game here in a couple of weeks. So I'm just going to leave.
They're not ready for us, but that's all good. I'll let them entertain it, but they're not ready for us.
Man, it would be a trip if we end up going to the Super Bowl. God, okay, let me stop.
I got a topic though. I got a topic before we move on. I got a topic we need to talk about. A real topic. Dana White.
Oh,
and the slap of his
bruh. Yeah. I saw. Did you? Everybody got cameras, and I saw. You see the video? Okay.
Yeah.
So for folks who may not know who Dana White is, and talk about the backstory.
Dana White is the founding person for MMA, and I think he's the president of the corporation as well. And he got into a domestic situation with his wife, and they caught it on camera. And it's just saying like this is pretty bad. He did it in public, and no one is talking about it. Everyone seems to want to wipe it under the rug. I think, Dana White in this situation, I don't know what was going on, but it was very cowardly what he did to his wife. And his apology was even worse than that, him coming out to the media. But I mean, this is, again, a person of power being dominating toward his spouse, right? Because he was cussing her out first. Whatever he was talking about.
Yeah.
He was talking down to her first up in the lobby. And then he permits to go ahead and put his hands on her. And I'm more disappointed in her because she's kept her mouth shut through this whole ordeal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So here's the picture of Dana. If y'all don't know who we're talking about, Dana White, this gentleman right here. Yeah. The altercation. And I don't want to play these videos. Right. Don't want to show the Damar Hamlin hit. Don't want to show this slapping incident. But yeah, they were at a club on New Year's. Cabo. I think they were in Cabo.
Somewhere. I don't know where they. Yeah.
Yeah, they were somewhere. Got into an altercation. A lot of alcohol apparently was involved. They got to shoving. They got to talking loud. I believe she slapped him first, and then he messed around and slapped her like a grown man. And they're like, "Come on, Dana. Mm-hmm. He know better, and you know better. Everyone knows better." And, he's saying, "Yes, I know I shouldn't have done it. Yes, alcohol was involved, but." That's a lot of hindsight, man, because again, you just don't do that, man.
I'm gonna be real. He's done this before. The way he hit her, he's done this before. That's not I accidentally pushed you, or hey, you know what? No, he's done that before. He's hit her before, or he's hit a woman before because he had no reservations the way he hit her at all.
I don't know. I mean, what do you think is going to happen? Because again, his
nothing. He's
clout,
the boss. What's going to happen?
I was going to say his clout, his position within, nothing's going to happen.
Nothing. Have you seen?
And he and his wife have come out publicly and said, hey, we was tripping, we were drinking, we
of course
we're gonna handle this in house. That's fine. Y'all can handle it in house, but still, we still saw it. We can't erase the video.
Wait. It wasn't as bad as Ray Rice, but what happened to Ray Rice? What happened with this situation?
Ray Rice gone.
What happened to every other person that we seen get in these domestic situations?
Yeah.
What happens to them?
Yeah.
Dana White is in a position where he's boss. There's nothing going to happen to him. And ESPN has not came out with one comment talking about, hey, you know what? We're considering to stop airing UFC fights. We're not going to do it no more because Dana White in this situation. They ain't going to do it. He's got two things going for him. He's white and he's a boss.
And there's a lot of money involved with a lot of the fights that just happened just past couple of days as well. So you're exactly right.
Beyond that, because UFC can replace him as president and still make money. They're not going to do nothing to him because, and I hate to bring race in it, but it is true. He's white and he's a boss. Nothing's going to happen to him. Name the last. Matter of fact, name the last white athlete that anything has happened to them on a sexual assault situation. I'll wait because I don't think you can name one.
There's only but it took a long time, and it was the dude that we were talking about from the Dodgers, the pitcher.
No, he got off though. He got off.
He got off. He did get off. Okay, I retract that. Good point. No, good point. Yeah.
So tell me one. Even we haven't even heard about the white dude that beat up the lady in Seattle, the football player.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So tell me the last time you heard of a white athlete or a white person in sports that has been convicted of a situation of a sexual assault situation against a female. I haven't heard none. Now I can name a few brothers, definitely.
Yeah, no conviction.
I can't name anybody. We can name Richard Sherman. He was involved in the situation. He got probation. He got arrested and went to jail and got the mug shot and all that stuff. I ain't seen none of that for some of these guys. Dana White didn't go to jail. He ain't doing nothing. Matter of fact, they don't even want to talk about it. So, again, being Caucasian, being involved in sports, especially his position in sports, do I think he's going to get anything for him hitting his wife? Absolutely not. I remember the Texas basketball coach lost his job. You're absolutely right. For alcohol and all that stuff. That was one, but that also is collegiate. Let's talk about professional athletes, professional people. What happens? That Texas thing has to happen because that's a school administration. They have to be able to do that kind of stuff within there. Talk about a professional guy that's been that's a situation that happened to, and they haven't gotten out of it.
Yeah. Wow.
So
that disparity.
I'm just saying, I don't even know if there's going to be a slap on the hand for him. We can handle it in-house. What if Ray Rice said, hey, you know what? We're going to handle it in-house. I know I'll put my hands on we're going to handle it in-house. And if the NFL would have dismissed that, he would still be playing right now.
It's plain and simple like that.
It takes a lot for unfortunately a person that's white in that situation to really have the odds stacked up against them where they're going to do something. I mean, I hate to say it. I hate to always bring it up with your boy Big Ben. He did all kinds of crazy things.
Hey, and just like Jim is saying, those double standards are real, folks, right? You're right.
Yeah,
and my dude, for my team, but yeah, Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, it's a real situation, and I'm not understanding like this person, regardless, he's not even being involved in talking cancel culture conversations. Like I haven't even heard no women's groups trying to cancel him. I haven't heard anything. It's like it's disappeared.
It's no one's talking about it, but I'll respond here to my mom. She said, "Did the wife speak up about these other guys? They knew about it, but no one again is speaking out in terms of, nobody is speaking out. Even the women that were involved in these particular issues, no one is either advocating for them or speaking out for them, and they aren't pressing it. They're staying with these guys. Dana White and his wife, I believe, have been married for 17 years, or they've been together for a long time. So right again, it's just, and it's obviously that this has happened before, and just continuing to stay with this guy, and nothing's going to happen.
And I'm all for working your marriage out. I'm just saying the looks of that video, and I admire all people. Please go if you want to go look at the video. He hit her like he's done that before.
Yeah, man.
It ain't like, hey, she slapped me. Oh man,
not right.
What you doing? What are you? It wasn't that reaction. It's like, and he went on went on it. So I'm all for them working it out and everything. I'm all for them being in couples and couple therapy and all that stuff. I'm all for that and curving it. But I'm saying in today's culture, the way we have things going on today, why is this not being a topic on? This is just like Brett Favre. Why is this thing the headline or the head feature on news channels and everything? It's not going to be there. They want to cover it, not covered up, but they want to put it on the back page in small print where we can't read it and not talk about it.
Yeah.
Domestic violence, last I checked, was a big issue in our country, especially when it becomes alcohol.
There you go. Right. Let that marinate for a minute, folks. Right. I mean, just think about that. Domestic violence, and again, we're talking about drugs and alcohol. Why is there not enough attention? Why? Because it took me a minute to really find someone that still had the story up. Because the story is, again, it's kind of buried just a little bit. So,
yeah. But let's flip that around. Let LeBron be in a situation like that.
Oh my goodness,
what would happen?
Oh,
let's put on another hat of somebody else and let's put that on it and see what happens. You know, he would be slandered and blasted on every sports channel show, if not top story in news. Let's put that. Let's just kind of let that marinate and be out there.
Yeah,
let's
I was trying to think of someone not as
no,
influential.
I'm gonna tell you something. The coach of Boston Celtics had a consensual affair with somebody.
There you go.
Top shelf, kid, lost his job, blackballed. You know, out of the NBA right now, and was the headline and top story on every news channel for having a consensual relationship.
Yep.
With somebody else.
That's true. Golly, that's true.
He didn't physically assault her. He didn't beat her. He didn't curse nobody out. He didn't call nobody name. He didn't say nothing racial. He had a consensual relationship with somebody in an organization. Granted, it was against company policy, but it was a blast on everything out, and he got canceled. This man hits his wife in a club, not hit her. He pretty much damn near knocked her out. If she didn't, she got a good chin. But he beat her. He hit her pretty hard.
Yeah, because Dana White is not a small dude, right? So he got something. Dana White's not a small dude, right? So I mean, he got something behind him, and especially again when alcohol and drugs or whatever are involved. So it's an interesting statement here from Kevin, though, talking about this. Is how many people stay because of the lifestyle? How many people stay in abusive relationships with these celebrities, with these entertainers, with these athletes, or whatever? Because look, I get these hot seats at the stadium. I get these hot seats for UFC.
I don't even think you got to go that far though. I think we have women stay in abusive relationships all the time. I mean, just because there's that psychological thing that's going on, there is that feeling of dependency, right? They're dependent on this person to be a provider for them, whether the lifestyle was mediocre or big or lavish lifestyle. I think they stand in it a lot longer. If it's more lavish, right, they'll stand in it a lot longer because they do get the perks of being wealthy and doing all these things. But I believe in today's, like I said, in today's society, today's culture, I'm not worried about the Whites family, Dana White and his wife. I'm saying society is so quick to cancel us. Why is nobody stepping up saying anything about them? Why is the media, whether they want to ignore that situation, but they'll blast us all over the news in a situation like this? Like, we got to start, like you said, we got to start talking about the double standard in the media, big time, because us get a really bad rap when we make a mistake or we do a situation, because if we did that and we said we're handling in-house, it's not enough. The apology wouldn't be enough. It wouldn't. It's like you need to lose your job, you need to go to counseling, you need to do this, you need to do that. Well, this dude can be dismissed whether you're a boss or not. The situation is a situation. You're in a situation where of influence and a popular demand, and ESPN fuels your engine. Why isn't ESPN saying anything?
Yeah.
Why isn't Fox Sports saying anything? They fuel your engine. Why isn't Showtime pay-per-view saying anything? The person that represents you, that's supposed to be your big owner, your big promoter, just beat his wife. And no, it wasn't just he smacked his wife. He beat his wife. He hit her pretty damn hard. So my question is, why does he get a pass and other people don't? Will Smith didn't get a pass. He slapped the man.
Ooh, good Lord. They make it plain right there. There it is right there.
Blasphemy, right? Blasphemy. Yeah. People stopped watching his movies. They didn't want nothing to do with him. They cancel culture him.
That's an interesting parallel that you just drew there, because everybody saw Will.
Everybody saw it.
Right? That's true. Everybody saw, and again, not saying that it was right, because it wasn't right. I mean, you just don't do that. But you know,
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. They can correct the right or wrong. I'm saying as far as society is concerned, social media and popular opinion, or this cancel culture thing, it's funny how they're selective. It's really funny how it's selective, and it's funny how, at least from my vision, I see it always targeted towards black athletes and black entertainers a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's not when it comes to white entertainers and white athletes. It seems like for some reason it gets really minimized.
Yeah, I think, yeah, and so Cheryl, I think that was Ray. That was Ray Rice that we were talking about.
That was Ray Rice. Yeah,
yeah,
that was Ray Rice.
in the elevator,
Absolutely.
and I think it was in Vegas. And again, caught on video, but again, no one's seen him since. Gone. And again, wasn't right, obviously, but yeah.
Me and you, we covered the white athlete that beat his black girlfriend.
Yeah.
In Seattle. What have you heard from that story since then?
Nothing.
Not one thing.
And I was again taken aback from that story, right? Again, no, that was one of the ones that really affected me. But so yeah, we haven't heard a single thing about that particular story.
Haven't heard one thing. One peep out of whether he's been convicted or not, whether it's been placed on the rug or not. But you damn for sure believe that, hey, any of these situations, boom, blast on the front page of the news on ESPN, and we're talking about it all day, every day.
Yeah, so we'll see. Right, so we've got our first story of 2023 that we're gonna keep in the
you being real optimistic.
This is what I'm saying. We got our first story.
We ain't gonna see nothing.
Let me speak.
We seen what we're gonna see. That's it. 2 weeks ago,
then we're gonna continue to monitor and make sure that we see that we're not gonna let go. We got it's unfortunately our first domestic violence story. It's not gonna be the last, unfortunately, but we got one that we're gonna continue to track. You were just ready to throw in. You was just ready to throw some blows. God. Oh my God, you messed with me, and yes, Bob, I am sick. I was out of town, and I messed around and caught that flu. I'm COVID negative. I did test, so I don't have COVID, but yeah, I got. I'm a little.
Shout out to Cox. Shout out to Kevin Cox. I see you, Kevin. I know you searching around to find one. You're right. He got a second chance. He got a second chance.
That's why he our moderator, man. That's why.
No, you got to say no. You good?
He knows.
They got and there's several other athletes. Don't get me wrong. There's other African American athletes that got chances. They got to do this over again. But the ones that don't, they get blasphemy on TV. And when we catch someone red-handed like Dana White on television or on camera and doing it, it's nothing. It goes away. It's not blasphemy anymore. It's basically wasn't even existed. It almost that situation didn't exist that we don't hear anything about it. But yeah, we'll hear about all these other athletes going around when they get these domestic situations or they get in situations of assault or anything as far as trouble is concerned. That's the point I'm trying to prove, Kevin. I'm not saying who's right or wrong. I'm just saying it's such a double standard. It's a big double standard in the media, and I'm tired of it, man. Because if that would have been any man of color that did that same situation, that was an owner of boxing or wrestling or whatever, they'd have been black. They would have been all plastered everywhere.
Yeah,
everywhere.
Yeah.
So there's where I'm coming from and trying to figure it out. But you're absolutely right. There's other players, and I just say mostly African Americans, and I don't want to say pitted against, but kind of versus the white media or white Americans. It's just not. It's not covered the same at all. It's just we don't get the same breaks, and we get blasted, even if we made a mistake and if it wasn't right. And like I said, I just try to use Will Smith. We already know that kind of situation, how it played out. And he's a part of cancel culture.
Yeah.
Dana White and Will Smith are kind of in that same range, and nothing's happening to Dana White. And he hit a woman, and Will Smith hit a man.
Yep.
So I don't know, man. I'm confused when it comes to who they want to selectively and choose. So
good points. And I see folks are agreeing as well. Montel, you're right. 1,000,000% understand where you're coming from. Appreciate everyone that's contributing to the conversation. Look, again, if you got some questions or if there's a topic that you want to address as well, let us know. It's kind of a light week in terms of stories. There's a lot of stuff going on in sports. There's a lot of action going on in terms of playoffs and things of that nature, but we're not focusing on that. But do bring it up in the comments and the questions if you got something you want to talk about, because I would rather not talk about this next story, unfortunately, which is a shameful thing. In the same realm, right? Martial arts, MMA, UFC, that kind of thing. This young girl here, Victoria Lee, died on December 26th, the day after Christmas. rising star in the MMA. I watched a couple of fights on YouTube. She got hands. She had hands. She knew what she was doing in in the ring. So this is just a darn shame. Her sister put out a post on Instagram announcing and talking about her losing her life. There's been no cause that's been talked about, but and you don't want to speculate. Right, but 18. Come on now, something happened. Something's not right. This just again doesn't compute, and it's just unfortunate that this happened to someone who had such a bright future, who was out there doing good work, who was an influence for and someone that other folks, other kids, especially young girls who wanted to get into this predominantly male dominated sport could look up to and say, hey, look at Victoria. She's out there doing it. She's out here making it happen. But again, unfortunately, at 18, she is no longer with us. So, and I hate saying thoughts and prayers, but, this is just an unfortunate situation that happened to this young lady.
Yeah. Man. I think one of my prayers go out to her and her family, her family. Two, when I read this, man, I got the eerie feeling of Len Bias. The eerie feeling of Bo Kimble.
Yeah.
I got those eerie feelings, and people don't know who those people are. Not Bo Kimble, sorry, Hank Gathers, excuse me, of Hank Gathers. Hank Gathers was a promising athlete that played basketball, loyal Marymount that died of a heart attack on the court a long time ago. And then Len Bias obviously accidentally overdosed after he got drafted. And I think for her to be an 18-year-old professional athlete, you got to understand what kind of she's on better than great athlete to be a professional at the age of 18 of any sport. So she's at the peak of where she needs to be. She's considered one of the top, fighters in her range at that age of 18, and then for it to all end suddenly, my heart goes out to her, man. I mean, she was somebody I think they were going to have big plans for in her arena of fighting and things, because she's obviously, her age attracts everyone. She's an attractive young lady. I think things were just going to be on the rise for her as far as her career was concerned, and now to be all over, and now we don't have any answers. That's even more puzzling. So, I mean, all we can do is just say, pray for her and the family. Hope they can, figure out, have a silver lining in this whole situation. But I think she's going to be really, really missed. And I think she made an impactful journey in her community and amongst her family from the things she was able to accomplish.
Yeah. Already, right? At the tender age, unfortunately, of 18, right? Yeah. And again, we take notice of these kinds of things when they happen. It's just unfortunate something like this had happened. Mr. Riley, I see you tuning in. Welcome to the show, sir. Hope you're well down there in San Diego area. Hope you staying dry. But yeah, this is just not good, man. You never want to hear about these kinds of stories. And again, someone at the age of 18, and we can just only ask why and what happened, right? Because it didn't happen while she was fighting. It didn't happen while she was doing her job. So it happened, and we don't. If it was like a car accident, and I'm not going to be speculating here. If it was a car accident, someone would have heard about that. But would love to just know what happened so we as society can start putting pieces together and start maybe trying to help someone else.
I think
hopefully I'm clear and that's understood when I say
that. No, I understand what you're saying. Okay. I mean, if it was a car accident, it's easier to digest, right? It's easier to kind of digest, like, okay, this will happen.
We'd have an answer, right? We'd have some bit of closure, and we know that there was a specific incident that happened.
Yeah, but the part of the unknown, it's unraveling. Obviously, it's very unraveling, and we know. I can't even call it, man. I would say hope there's no foul play in the situation in there, but it's hard. It's going to be hard to tell, at least right now, until they finish doing whatever they have to investigate or whatever's going on. I just believe, man, her legacy is very strong. I know in her community and her family is, and I wish it was able to blossom, globally.
Yeah,
I don't, like I said, to be an 18-year-old professional athlete, man, you're special.
Yeah,
that's a special person to be able to endure all the training she had to do, all the discipline she had to have, all the experience she had to gain, all the things she had to go through to get there. All those things, I think people don't understand what professional athletes have to sacrifice in order to be in that situation. And she did it all at the age of 18. And that's minus the talent. Can you imagine how disciplined you have to be to be able to go to high school, graduate high school, and be a professional athlete?
Yeah, right. So that's hard work.
Wow.
That's real hard work.
Where's the boyfriend? Where's the girl? Where's the boyfriend? Where's the significant other? Where's going to prom? Where's having family with the dinner?
Everything
all that stuff will get sacrificed.
Yeah, everything
that has to get sacrificed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can ask one of those ice skaters or those gymnasts to do it when they do it so young, and that's why they're so bitter and they get mad about things that go on later on in life when they figured out how much they had to give up. This young lady gave all that up and she was being pretty successful. Like you said, I've seen one of her fights. She's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
She's damn good, and I think MMA, if they weren't going to ride her coattail or make her a prodigy now, it was coming. It was definitely coming for her to be a superstar.
Yeah, she'd have been a good story.
Yes. So I'm sorry. I feel so. My prayers go out to her family. Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's see. Cheryl was asking, was it related to her performance in the ring? We don't know yet. Find out to see. There's been no real. The only thing that's come out really is the Instagram story from her sister talking about her passing. So we'll see what's going on right there. Let's see. I hope no one took jealousy yet. We'll hopefully not as well. But we won't speculate. We'll just wait and see what comes out of the story. All right. That was it, man. I had one other story, but it wasn't really. I don't know if it was a story or not. It was just kind of an acknowledgement. But what have you got on your mind? I know you sent me something in Instagram and I hadn't seen it yet. But
no, we ain't gonna talk about that.
Right? No. So I'm gonna say this because I saw Kevin online in the comment before we went live, and I said, "Man, we sitting here telling jokes and we talking about stories." We're gonna save that for next week because we can't just drop this on folks. So there we go. There's a tease. You make sure you subscribe and come back for next week when we talk
next
about
week is gonna
madness.
be deep. Next week, and I'll give a hint. Catfish. That would be the hint where y'all can understand right there. That's the hint everybody can get from it. But it's deep. What we're gonna talk about next week. What's on my mind? You know what?
Happening in the world.
Congratulations to Naomi.
Osaka, that was what I
congratulations to her, man.
Yeah.
She but even more, I'm not even saying about the baby. I mean, congratulations on the pregnancy. Congratulations on her business acumen. She made $51 million.
Naomi didn't play.
She only made, I think she only made like $7 million on the court this year because she didn't play in a lot of tournaments. She made $51 million. Her businesses.
Listen, Naomi didn't touch the court and still made all that money.
Yes.
That's when you the boss, right? Because she is the boss. She owns her own sports management agency. And I started looking at this. So yeah, shouts out to her on the announcing the pregnancy today and sending out the ultrasound pictures. But I hope she's going to be okay. Because there's been we've had so many conversations about Naomi, right, and stemming about the mental health, mental awareness, things of that. Being a parent is such a job. It's the greatest job you'll ever have, but it's such a pull on resources, such a pull on strength, on emotion. And I know she will, because I'm sure she's got folks around her to help her and support her and things of that nature. But I don't even know where I'm going, but I hope I think to be okay.
I think you're right when it comes to situations with because she's always battled some mental health challenges, right?
She's been down and dumps, unfortunately, mentally for such a long time. She's had to pull out of matches, and just hoping that doesn't translate into them terrible twos. That hard ones, the teething, the breastfeeding, right? All of the things that go along with being a parent and being a new mother, right? Hopefully that doesn't just turn into a downward spiral. Hopefully it's more joy than negativity. Yeah, I'm sure it will be.
I mean, she might battle with a little bit of postpartum, but most first-time mothers don't. I don't believe. I think I'm accurate. First-time mothers don't, but postpartum can be a problem because, she has some shit. Like I said, she deals with some mental health issues and all those things like that she's done with before. Yeah. But I think she's found a happy place in life, man. I think her starting a family, financial resources is not an issue anymore. And that's usually one of the bigger problems with a lot of people. Yeah. The financial resources is not a problem. So I think she'll be able to have enough people around her to notice anything that's going wrong and treat her and show her how to be a mother, on certain things that she wants to do. I don't think she has to be as instinctive like, back in the day, because she has enough resources to have help. and have people to, where she get proper rest at time and do all these things. So I'm wishing for the best for her. I don't think there's going to be too many problems with her. Actually, I think this might kind of reverse kind of her goal, because I think she's going to find a happy spot. Like when you have that kid and you're starting your family, it's not the stress of I got to be on the court. It's not the stress I got to be traveling. It's not the stress I got to deal with people having all these uncertain expectations of myself, and I got to perform. Those are going to be kind of back, I think, on the back window, and I think she's going to be like, I'm a mother first.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, I'm Naomi first. I'm a mother second, or whichever one, and then I'm going to go on with life going through that route, because, again, like us have to deal with the financial burdens and struggles. I'm talking about not me. I'm talking about us common folks down here got to deal with the financial struggles when you have a child. I think that biggest piece is eliminated in her situation.
Yeah,
so I think she gonna be. I think she's gonna be all right, man. I don't really think there's gonna be too many problems. I think we're gonna miss her. Yeah, I think we're gonna miss her as a tennis player. I really do. I don't think she comes back, to be honest with you. And not because she can't. I just don't think it's gonna be a desire of hers. I don't think she's gonna want to come back to be a professional player. Hey, I made it. I've done what I wanted to accomplish.
I'm already business owner, right? Again, from her talent agency. So we'll see.
Yeah. I don't think this is a problem, but I mean, shout out to her, man. Congratulations. Good for her. Have a healthy whatever it may be, and rock out.
Done, bruh. All right, I can barely speak. I can barely talk. I'm over here coughing on the microphone. Hopefully, I'm putting myself on mute, and no one could hear me. And I know I don't sound like, I don't know who I sound like right now.
No, you good, man. You good. I just think that ringing in the new year. Yeah. There's a lot. I think, like you said before, there's a lot of stories out there. I think we're gonna kind of pick and choose the ones we want to touch.
Yeah.
Because I think we really. I was thinking about it over our break, man, when we didn't come up last year. Like, we really want to talk about things that are really socially impactful. And sports is just kind of a parlay into those types of things. And we have strong opinions about what's going on. I think we're going to probably dig even more to have more of those kind of stories, to have more of those discussions, because we're at a point, like you said before, it's time to have those uncomfortable conversations with people, whether it be could talk about race, sexual assault, and everything under the sun that's there, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, those things. I think those conversations need to start to be had, especially, I know, within our community, so we can start to avoid what's going on.
Yeah.
Or have answers, or give the power of no.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna drop something on you as well. I know we had talked about speaking this into existence, about actually taking Team No Sleep on the street and actually being in live. That's still a reality, but I don't want to limit us. And I had this brain fart 35,000 feet up in the air the other day when I was coming back. Virtual summit, some type of hybrid type of environment. MDH, Mel, if you're still on, this is something I need to talk to you about as well. But I want to not have travel and not have being localized to us when we do have a bigger session, a bigger conversation. Mm-hmm. I don't want travel and having to worry about being there to be a limiting factor. So there may be a way that we have the Social Impact of Sport Summit that's a hybrid event. That's not just in person, but that is also virtual as well. And so people can engage and interact. So, yeah, let's keep that in mind.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we, got to have those uncomfortable conversations, man. Get comfortable with having uncomfortable conversations for 2023.
Yeah, we putting that on some gear. Mom said, okay, she got, Team No Sleep hat? We got a hat? Oh, that's right. You got the
we got the bucket hat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't even know what we got. Hey, y'all better go to social.hickstewmedia.com and see all this gear we got. We got some stuff, man. So yeah, go check out the gear there. I think the discount code is still available, but I'm gonna pull that down in a couple of days. So you better get your discount on.
Mr. Cox got to be you got to be the mediator of that too. We take it on the road and get that platform.
Hey, Kevin Cox is a bad man right there. Yeah. So he definitely part of the family. So appreciate everyone that joined us. Appreciate everyone for the engaging conversation, for riding with us. 2023, we keep doing it big. You see, we redesigning the show. We're talking about doing big things. I keep looking over here to the right at email, seeing if the NFL communications is reaching out. They're sending all this other stuff, but they need to send this particular email out about this particular event. So take us home, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. I got one shout out, man. Rest in peace, my best friend in the world, Wild World, Tim Wildholm. It's been a year since his passing from cancer. Love him, love his family. Always got to give a shout out to him. You know, he's always in my heart. But for 2023, I think our motto still stays the same. You know, we got to get comfortable having uncomfortable conversations. We got to get comfortable discussing issues that we're not comfortable discussing, because, as you can see, things that are going on in our world are really trying to divide us. You know, whether it's divide us with the country across the way, the ocean, or divide us with our neighbor. It's trying to divide us and making us take sides. And I think once you have those uncomfortable conversations discussing whatever the topic may be, we'll all be better, man. Prayers and shouts out to everybody. You know, hope everybody gets better. And call a family member, man. Make sure check up on it. Check up on your family.
Check up on somebody.
Check up on somebody.
All right, y'all. Y'all be good. We out now.
Salute.